Welcome, everybody, to the Love Happy Hour.
It's getting worse every time.
Yeah. Well,
no, actually, it's really good, but it's really awful. It's really bad, and it's really wonderful.
A little bit of everything.
It's like life.
Yeah.
Right? Especially today.
You got to cheese it up a little bit, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheese. What kind of cheese?
I don't know. I like pepper jack.
You do? That's what I like. I like blue cheese. I like goat
blue cheese is good too.
Yeah, I like rope. Yeah, we are digressing, aren't we?
Yeah.
But you know, we're just, as we always do, we're keeping it real.
Yeah.
Hey. Well,
yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Hi. Nice to see you.
Yep.
Nice to see you. Welcome to the Love Happy Hour with me, Kailen Rosenberg, and with my producer, Mingo.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. And I was telling Mingo earlier that some of you have reached out and said you want it, that you like he and I, you like us, is he and I together.
Yeah, that
like
works. Sounds like good English. English good, yeah.
Yeah. And that you think we have kind of a good vibe. So thank you for that. Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah,
and,
that's good to hear.
And one of you asked if we'd ever get to, or you'd ever get to see him.
The mystery man.
Yeah. I said, yeah, at some point, yeah. But
You guys got to draw pictures of what you think I look like, and then we'll see how close
and
you are.
send them in.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that'd be funny.
It kind of would, because who knows,
Right?
you know?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm old, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm in the middle.
What's old, Mingo?
I guess it depends. Old, like 100.
Ooh, see, he's quick. That's why he's here. Yes, he is on it. All right. So, my God. Okay, so your wife had, I know we were going to get together and record the other day, and then you said that your wife had a birthday, and I'm like, well, then I'm not taking you away from her.
Yeah, we spent the day together. It was really nice. We went out to a restaurant.
Yeah.
We had lunch. We brought the kid. He's only 9 months now.
I know, he's so cute. You guys have to see him.
He's the best.
Yeah.
He's so young. He's so little. And
so
honestly, he did. So we brought him to the restaurant. We did lunch, so there's no way he'd do dinner time.
Yeah.
Yep. He's
Okay.
very short when it's nighttime. He doesn't have a lot of attention, but
Yeah.
he did great. We brought him. We were there for like an hour.
And he sat through it?
Yep, we sat him on the table. He'll just grab stuff, play with forks, anything that he can grab. But once we got our food, he loves meat, so we had some chicken and some shrimp, and we just broke up little itty bitty pieces, put it on a plate, and he would just keep grabbing one by one, help himself when he wanted it. He tried some water, and every time we give him a little bit of water, he makes this weird face because I think he's expecting milk or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so you're just so he'll have a sort of more of a sophisticated palate for a little guy.
I think so. I mean, he
That's
already
smart.
does.
That's good.
He already has he has preferences because I think he really likes shrimp, salmon. I mean, I think he likes all meat, but he knows when we make shrimp often enough to where he knows when it's shrimp because he seems to be more excited when shrimp's happening.
Does he do that little does he do the dance?
He'll do the dance or he'll flap his hands
Right?
he gets excited. He knows.
Oh, I remember those days.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Any of you going through it right now, either with your own kiddos or grandkiddos, or oh my goodness. It's all super yummy.
Yep.
So wife is good. She's happy. She had her birthday. She had her family with her, which I nothing more important than family, health, family, God. What else?
Family's huge. Family's great. I mean, and it was nice to spend the whole day together too because, usually on our off days, I'm usually busy or we don't, make an effort to do as much family time. We do naturally because it just happens that way. But, making it a special day where we can just dedicate that and not plan anything except for us family time is really nice.
It's the way to do it. Seriously. So I know that oftentimes both men and women who are married or just in serious relationships will reach out and say, okay, what do we've been together for a period of time. I feel like I know her or him really well. And what can I do that is really special and really unique? And I will always say time. Just really connected time. It will always create its own experience that will create a memory and a snapshot of that time and of that moment, and that's the most special because you can buy all sorts of things and give all sorts of gifts, and a card is nice, especially if you write in it and write from your heart. But so I'm so proud of you. Good job. I like that.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yep, it's always good. Just good for the soul. Good for
it is.
all of it.
Yeah.
So how have you been? I know you've had some
it's been
busy.
A whirlwind.
Yeah, you've been busy.
Yeah. I know. I just got off the phone with my son, and he's like, "Mom, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah. It's been a little heavy." And he's like, Mom, you always say it's heavy. I'm like, well, this world, and as an intuitive, I'm an empath. I'm very, very sensitive to everything, and I am feeling it all.
So you pick it up,
man. I really do, and I have. I mean, I've been up since 4 a.m. this morning, just where all of a sudden I was wide awake, and I'm just feeling all these things coming in and coming through, and in a lot of prayer. But anyway, so I think just we were in Aspen. Christy, one of my employees, and she decided to join me on behalf of a client of ours. We are trying to find her man, not Christy's man. She's happily married, but our client's man, and. We've just found and have interviewed the most amazing men, but we had an opportunity to meet some men in Aspen as well. That was a trip. A trip. Not just a trip on an airplane to another state, a mental trip, a spiritual trip. We'll get into that in a second. I have clients in Aspen. I have former clients in Aspen who are now like family and friends to me. I met many lovely new friends and acquaintances in Aspen. Thank you, Caribou Club. For inviting us in. So anything I say in a moment, I'm not at all meaning to be negative or derogatory, but I just want to be real as to what I picked up on. But we'll go more positive first. So the positive side of Aspen, it's one of the most stunning places. I hadn't been there for a while, so I forgot.
I've actually never been.
Oh, man. Yeah, we may get there.
Yeah.
It's really like a movie set. It is a playground, with all due respect for the wealthy, the ultra rich. And it is so clean and so meticulous, not just the absolutely stunning beauty of the mountains and the many different vivid colors of green and the trees and the pine and the flowers and the air is some of the freshest air I've ever smelled in my life. It's all like just surreal. The people that are there and live there are used to this, but it was kind of a little bit of a shock. I come from Minnesota, in a nice place, and I was like, wow, I forgot. But it's so clean, so meticulous. Even the areas of the dumpsters and the alleys, it's like a movie, and you almost feel like you could eat off the street. Not that we would. And so we're taking, and I'm not kidding, like a movie set. The beautiful songbirds, a mother doe walks by with her fawn with the spots, almost call it Bambi, and pretty people everywhere, and everyone is in crazy. Just they're so athletic, they're so fit, they're. And you just kind of sit back, you take it all in, you enjoy it from whatever space you are personally and in your life, and then you go in and you focus on what we were there for, which was to interview these men. And the men were lovely. The men were absolutely amazing. They really showed up, which I just always give them so much credit for. Incredibly humble, real, down to earth, really wanting love, really sharing and being open with us. And so we're very excited to introduce them to our client. But what I started to notice, you guys, in Aspen, how do I say this, like so with love, and you may roll your eyes and not care what I have to say, it seemed like no one was genuinely happy. I didn't see many people smiling, if a smile at all, to the point of where when I would pass people walking in this darling town with incredible shop after shop, for both men and women, just really cool, unique stuff. I would really look at people in the eyes and really smile at them and say hello. And I was sort of, I don't want to say I was snubbed. It's not personal. It was just that it's like people were almost out of body somewhere else. And it was then almost more like a movie set, like they were extras. Yeah.
And they didn't quite receive your smile
or each other. And so I think that, and I've learned this working with many of my clients, because again, I work with, after all of these years and after working with Oprah, and, you become an author, me, and the world looks at you differently, treats you differently. And so because of it, I've worked with and work with, again, well-known Olympic athletes and politicians and major celebrities and their entire families, and so I'm accustomed to being around a certain level in society of money and wealth, and then billionaires. And but I've noticed that the more success, the more power financially, the more that you can have without having to think much about it. It seems like the less peace there is, the less joy there is, like authentic joy and just genuine happiness. And I'm not saying it's everyone, but it's the majority.
Yeah.
And so it started to almost suck energy from me because again, I feel everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, and part of me thought, how do I like move here for a minute and like just try to like shake everybody and love everybody up and go, do you realize how incredibly fortunate and blessed you are? And you know, how do we shake this up so you can really live and experience what you have, as opposed to it just being another conversation about the fact that you just spent the last 4 months, this was a common theme, the last 4 months in Europe or at your apartment or your home in Paris or your chalet outside of in the south of France, and then you were just in Nantucket at your home there and in Vermont, and then now you're at your home in Aspen. That's awesome. That's cool, man. But if you're just kind of going from place to place and it's a conversation and it's a story and you can't really connect with what you've worked so hard for to be in that place that, again, is so privileged and blessed, and or your ancestors, right? Your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents that put you in this position where you have it, you're missing out. And then to me, you don't have the true richness of what life really has. So that was the Aspen experience, and
So it's almost like they're
you should
like
see Mingo's face. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it seems like what you're saying is like the extraordinary becomes ordinary to them.
There you go. Ooh,
Yeah.
but this isn't even like we don't even rehearse.
Yeah.
He's that good.
Just gotta wing it.
It's just like he gets it right away on such a deep level.
Yeah.
It's true. The extraordinary, it seems, becomes the ordinary.
Yeah.
You guys, if any of you are listening, and I know some of you said you're going to, again, I say all of this with love, and I have admiration for where you're. I'd love to have my place in my chalet and such and such. But only if I'm really, really joyful and happy, and yeah. So the extraordinary becomes the ordinary, and then I think you just kind of numb out, and then
I think the numbing out's a good way to put it too.
Yeah.
I almost kind of feel like it's sort of a poor analogy, but like if you eat a lot of really sugary stuff, a lot of fake foods, your taste buds kind of get accustomed to like over blasted flavors, and then if you eat fruit, it's like fruit's kind of boring. Yeah. But if you stop eating that, after a while, fruit becomes amazing.
Yes.
And you're like, wow, it's crazy.
I've just experienced that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the same kind of thing where you get so used to just, like I said, extraordinary stuff, and then it becomes normal, and then the other things that were, that really brings life, or is really like a sunset or sitting at the lake, or really simple stuff, sort of like uninteresting, Maybe. You're sort of like lost connect somewhere with what really means to be happy, or to, I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, true. And you may be listening obviously to what Mingo just said and say, oh yeah, no. When I'm here, I totally I see the beautiful sunsets here, and I see the sunrise, and when I'm hiking that, Aspen Mountain, and I'm definitely present. But just pay attention to the fact that when you're walking around, it seems like most of you are somewhere else. And so think about, where are you? And this might be a moment for you to get really centered with yourself and to think about what's showing up on my body, on my face, on my energy that is appearing disconnected and removed. What is that about? Is it a protective thing, right? Maybe you're just feeling like you need to protect yourself. Maybe you're feeling like you don't feel incredibly safe in this kind of screwed up world right now. Or maybe you are numbing out and you're kind of forgetting, but don't, because you are really blessed. So, and I think it's amazing. So anyway, so very excited to have my client meet these men, and it was good. Otherwise, it was really good.
So is it, when you do, when you have clients, is it usually like the number, like how do you even come across these people? Is it just, you just know people and you're like, oh, I've got some singles and we're going to go interview them and see how it works out? Is it usually a lot? Is it little? Does it just depend on what the person's looking for? Or because I'm kind of curious, like how do you, like it's not like a dating app where you're like, okay, here's a bunch of singles, maybe I'll chat them up. Like it seems kind of crazy that you can find all these unique people that are potentially, matches to this other unique person,
Yeah.
to be able to have access and then know where to find these people too. That's kind of crazy to be able to, know where to find it and how to do it. It's kind of cool.
Well, I've been doing this a really long time.
Yeah, okay.
And, because of that, I have a really big database of really great people.
Yeah.
And just as I was saying, when I was in Aspen again recently, I met even more people and really lovely people that the one thing they do love is they do love the concept of love and other people having love, and they're
Well, so that's good. So they're not completely shut off. They're
for other people. It's interesting. Yeah. So, Kailen, how can I help? Let me know how I can help. What can I do for you?
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I had a really neat opportunity with a couple of celebrities to have a fun event. We probably we'll see how things go. I mean, at some point, I'd love to do it regardless, but if I even need it for this client. But yeah, so I have a pretty big Rolodex of really great people. I'm very particular about who I work with, and so really, when my clients are hiring me, they're hiring me with my heart, my intuition, my background, my expertise, my ability to look into and see my client in a way they aren't seeing themselves, as well as then to see into the people that I want them to be with and they would want to be with, to have a really, really beautiful, healthy, fruitful relationship and potentially marriage. So I will go into this this large, wonderful, again, Rolodex of people, and see if my client's potential love is there, or ask them who they know.
Yeah.
And we do some other sort of private, very proprietary things. As I'm being a little zipped about it.
Yep.
Yeah, but it works and it's good. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful. Yeah, if my clients don't get in their way and they don't get in my way, it's good.
Okay.
It works.
Yeah.
I was going to say always, but almost always. Almost
Most of the
always.
time, okay.
Can't control the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you usually bring a counterpart with, like you said, your friend came along? Is that pretty common?
Yeah. When I'm traveling and I'm interviewing matches on behalf of my clients, especially men, because I'm a female, just a bit for protection as well,
Okay.
a second set of
makes
eyes
sense.
and ears. I'll have someone come with me, and sometimes it's my son, sometimes it's my husband,
Okay,
but
sure.
I do like to bring one of my employees with, and then because I'm visiting their home, I'm meeting their friends, their family. I'm really diving into a vulnerable place.
Yeah, almost going into like personal space.
I am very much into the personal space, and so it's for them it's a vulnerable thing, and also for me. Potentially as a woman, I've been doing this again for a very, very long time. I have had 2 crazy stories, though. I mean, I'm not kidding. That could make a movie, and so now I'm like, I'm never going alone.
Yep.
And we all know this anyway. But just the reality for me is, I don't like to call myself a matchmaker. I do so much more. It's deeper than matchmaking. Matchmaking. But when you're looking at the reality of people and how they present online and even on social media, you can't just trust that.
It's hard to tell.
You can
put a
so
big old
much
facade.
You can. A little itch in my throat, but I'm going to take part of what you say and what I find online as reality, but I will know more when I see you in person and see your life and check you up for real.
Yeah, I feel like the in-person is the real deal, because then you can you get all of it, the body language, the presence, the how they respond to certain things. You can pick up on really anything.
Well, and with
in
all
person.
the filters too.
Yeah, I know too.
I think, didn't we talk about this once before?
Possibly. I mean, the filters are kind of they're fun, but
they're awful.
Yeah, it's really kind of, I think it just creates a false sense of reality when, especially if people are online and in the realm of people feeling bad about themselves and then seeing things like, I feel like online is generally just kind of a fakey. You take the best shots, put the best filter on, the best smile, the best, life situation. It's like, wow, that person's always happy and always awesome. Like, how do they do it,
Yeah.
But you never get to see the dark side. It's because people don't post that stuff, They kind of keep that hidden a little bit.
Well, that comes out no matter what. I'm not talking dark side, though. I'm talking about, like, just that people are so filtered up that I think they even believe that they look like their filtered self.
Yeah.
But where they're literally,
Interesting.
you guys, so many of you can become unrecognizable in real life.
They've almost like fooled themselves.
Yes.
That's kind of crazy. I guess I've never thought about that, but I can totally believe that, yeah.
I mean, I've had so many men and women that so I'll see a photo of them, check them out on social. I'll even Zoom with them, and the filters can be crazy good on Zoom as well. I can take 25 years off of you.
The best makeup do ever.
Everything, skin flawless, not a line, and be who you are. We don't care. It's like, be proud of aging, and that you're alive and healthy and walking right straight up. But where I will be waiting for them in person as they walk into the restaurant or into wherever we are, and I don't recognize them at all.
Wow. That's kind of
I mean, that much of a
that's
that
crazy.
much filtering.
Yeah.
So again, that's why we go meet them in person.
Yep, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So. What
Well,
else?
I mean, so with that, maybe we can chat a little bit about like what's going on in the world, because I know we got a bunch of crazy stuff happening. And
Oh my God. Maybe that's why I'm coughing.
because I know you said you've been feeling a lot of stuff, so you're having some waves of, maybe good and bad and all of it. And I know there's some crazy political stuff going on right now, and
I feel sorry for all of us.
yeah,
I really, really, really do. I
Yeah.
feel sorry for all of us, and I feel like some people might respond to that, having just heard me say that, and go, "I feel sorry for me. I'm in a great place. We're in a great place." Meaning you are saying that about yourself.
Yeah.
It's them. It's that's
Yeah.
bad off, wrong, should be scared, or we're scared because we're all scared.
Yeah.
Right. So regardless of what side, whether you're on the left side or the right side.
I think it's silly that we have sides.
It's this. That's exactly where I'm
Yeah.
going with this, right?
Yeah.
And we know this, but it's getting to the point of where it's becoming comfortable for too many people,
Yeah.
and
Or almost like righteous.
gross.
Yeah, yeah.
Totally, the wrong kind of righteous.
Yeah, like-
right. And so you have, the left against the right politically, and really so little desire or care at all to try to remotely seek to understand the other side and
Yeah.
why they adamantly feel the way they do, so we can have some understanding and have some compassion and have some awareness, so we can try to a little bit meet each other in the middle. Because I think I have talked about this before, and I'll talk about it again and again anyway. We all, at the end of the day, want the same thing. And again, some of you might say, no, we don't. Look that's where we're polar opposites. Some people believe in, whether you believe in, whether you're pro-right, or pro-life, or you're not. Okay, but at the end, most of us, the majority, I think 99% of us love babies, right? We love babies. We love little children.
And if you don't have one, you will.
Right. But so it's like somewhere where can we find commonality? And if there are people that are saying, "Hey, I believe in abortion. I believe that women should have full rights to their body and to do what they want with their body," instead of hating on someone for that, just kind of like seek to love them and go, "Okay, I want to know more about that. Tell me more about that."
Yeah.
Or, "I am completely pro-life. I don't believe in abortion at all on any level for any reason, even the worst of the worst." And instead of going, "You horrible person," it's trying, okay, tell me more about that. What's your story? What's your background? What are your feelings on that? Why do you feel as strong as you do about that? My God, this is what happens. Okay, so this is what keeps me in business, is that it boils down to relationships. So we're not only are we not having a relationship with each other in community, in society, as a country, and in ways as a world, really not as a country though, but it really stems down to the people that come to me, and they're unable to have a relationship with each other, or to find a relationship, or if they find a relationship, you find a relationship, all of a sudden you hit a freaking wall and it's really hard, and then you think it's
Yeah.
the wrong person when it's not, and you don't know how to work it out. Same shit,
Yep.
same stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really, again, about love. It's how do we find the energy of love? That's another thing we agree on. We all want love. Even the most wounded that will say, "I don't want love, I don't believe in love, it's stupid, love has hurt me."
I feel like they're really scared.
It's
person
fear.
almost,
It's
you
fear.
know?
It's control. It's wanting to feel safe. It's okay. So let's compassion for that. So it's kind of like, it's just too much divide. Too much divide. It's got to stop. We have, again, so much more power. I feel like I'm repeating myself in ways from maybe the last podcast, or maybe it's a conversation I had with someone. But the bottom
Yeah.
line is, it's just so what's going on in the world. It's like, I'll tell you, when we all saw the attempted assassination on Trump, and there are people that were, obviously devastated that he could have been killed, and that he it was even attempted, and that that it got as far as it did.
Yep.
And there are people that are devastated that the guy missed.
I know.
Right? And that Trump isn't dead. And I get really hating someone. I get being really angry. I get being turned off. I get not believing in things in a person, and not wanting that person to run your country. But when we get to the point where we're so numbed out, and
That we just want 'em to die.
where we just want them dead, you guys, we got to check in with ourselves.
little scary.
It's freaking really scary,
Yeah.
because you know what, you guys, that is the mentality, and this could really sound controversial, but I'm being serious. It's the mentality of the people that go shoot up the schools and just go into a crowd when you get that numb and that removed and that angry and that full of hate, you no longer see human life as human life.
Yeah.
And so again, whether you like Trump or you hate Trump, we have to be really gentle and careful and check in with where we're coming from with our attitude toward him. It's like, believe what you want, be strong in your beliefs, share your beliefs, try to do it without thinking you're correct. Just be adamant about what you believe and what's good for you, right? On both sides.
Yeah.
And then let's see how we can try to meet in the middle. Let's really, really do that. So I think, with that and the whole thing with Biden, and then Kamala.
I think that's how they say it. Kamala Harris. Kamala. I don't know.
Kamala.
Yeah.
It's funny. I do have to say, I love my social media. After prayer in the morning, I sit and just numb out for a minute.
Do some loops. I call it looping.
I do.
You get stuck in the loop and just scroll.
Yeah, and I laugh and laugh, and my husband's like, I'm still sleeping, but what's so funny? What's the one that she's doing? They have all those memes about her where...
what has been... what is the saying that she says?
Not that one, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're going into this new direction. But the most recent one is something like, what was yesterday is today. Today is yesterday for tomorrow. If tomorrow is yesterday.
Oh my goodness, that sounds like a whole, I don't even, my brain broke when you said that. I know.
And I have to say.
What is that supposed to mean?
And so for me, because I have to work with people from all sides of the equation and have to find love with and for and in all of them, I can't choose sides. And so even with that one, I'm laughing. I think it's super funny. It's super freaking confusing. But then I'm trying to go deep with her too for a second. I'm trying to go real heavy spiritual. And I'm like, okay, this is really heavy. So today's yesterday is yesterday's tomorrow, and tomorrow is yesterday's today and today. And if you just do today's tomorrow, yesterday, and okay, there's got to be meaning there somewhere.
I think it's
there's got to be something. I just got to believe it somewhere.
Yeah.
I haven't figured it out yet. I think I came close.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
No, if it's that.
And I'm
hard
not
to
mocking.
forget.
I'm being serious. Like, I don't wish anything bad for her. So, anyway, yeah. Okay, this is a good time to drink.
Yeah.
We
Cheers
do
to
have
that.
the happy hour.
Yep.
Okay, ting.
Ting.
Okay, I haven't even look at how watered down.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. My ice is already melted, but I've been sipping.
Okay,
so.
good. Hold on. Let me see. I have tequila again, but this is a different one.
Oh, okay.
I know, and I will never tell. Okay, hold on.
Decent.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out what that one is.
Well, you may have to write them down so you remember.
Or bring the bottle. I was saying I'm going to bring the bottle. Okay,
Yep.
this one I think I have to share with you guys and let you know what it was. So we'll post it in our Instagram. And you said you have what? Whiskey?
It's
again?
a whiskey bourbon.
Which one is it? The same one as last? Are you just doing the same thing over and over?
I used to drink a lot. I didn't drink a lot, but when I would drink, I would do like vodka Red Bulls. That was kind of the jam.
Oh man!
And I just don't do it anymore. So I don't really drink that
hardcore.
much.
Yeah.
So the whiskey I like. The whiskey's got a nice little warm kind of tingle to it that I like. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I've never really had much whiskey, but it's nice to just have a sip of whiskey.
It just
it's
feels
actually,
warm in the tummy.
Yeah, it just feels nice.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm gonna have a little more of this. Okay. If I start to slur my words,
I'm all
just
grown up
tell
now.
me. You are all growing up.
That'll put some hair on your chin, son.
My grandpa always told me on my chest.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for it. My husband's like, "Don't show me if you find it."
Yeah, please shave it.
Yum. It's a little frightening. Okay. Yeah, what else? Excuse me, what else is going on in the world?
Kind of along those lines too, I was thinking, I feel like what's kind of interesting and polarizing is, like, if I scroll through any social media, YouTube's got a lot of stuff that's not convoluted with a bunch of, like, if I scroll through Facebook and Instagram, I end up finding some really weird stuff randomly.
Okay, like how weird?
Like someone will shoot someone, or like really I don't know, you just scroll and occasionally it'll just put a really messed up video in there for no reason. Oh yeah. So YouTube's pretty safe in that regard. But what I was going to say is that what I find interesting is that a lot of these people who have podcasts and talk about politics, they always do the podcast in a way where it's them versus someone else.
I know, I'm not going to do that.
It's weird. I feel like that, the fact that they title it that way, they've already set up that whole discussion to already be combative.
You're right.
It's already destructive. It's
I'm
already
not doing that, you guys.
Yeah, it's we're not supposed to be versus, like, why can't it be this person understanding this person, or why can't it be, us discuss. Why even call it a debate? You know, like when you say a debate, that's already like, oh, I'm going to disagree with you, and I'm going to try and convince you how I'm right,
Yeah.
and how you're not.
Yeah.
And both sides, I feel like they're a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of time, I feel like both sides are just really interested in convincing the other side that they're wrong and that what they're offering
That's
is the
where the
right
problem
stuff.
is.
Yeah.
That is where the problem
and they
is.
don't want to meet. They just want to be right.
Amen. I think that it's interesting. So how can I say that? I love listening to you. I have no problem with the debate.
Neither do I, but they always angle it in a way where it's like them versus us, and they polarize it all the time.
Yep. No. And I don't even have. So this shows how little I drink. I'm already getting like, blah, blah, blah. I don't even have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with us disagreeing. I don't
Yeah.
have a problem with us thinking we're right or feeling we're right. Because again, when we do that and we're convicted or in our conviction of it, we're digging our heels into what feels safe for us, right for
Yeah.
us, good for us, based on our value system. And that's part of self-love.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
That's even part of setting a boundary,
Okay,
right?
sure.
Where it becomes a problem is what you were starting to say later.
Yeah.
Is if I need to convince you, if I
Yeah.
can't love on you and accept our differences and try to find some commonality, that's when we're in really big frickin' trouble.
Well, I think
And
it happens
that's
a
what's
lot.
happening in our world.
Yeah.
Right? So I'll just say it. Oh, my Lord, I'm probably going to lose people from this, but I hope I don't, because honestly, I want us all to kumbaya and love together. We all live on the same darn planet. It really can be. There's enough room for everybody,
Oh, yeah.
truly. But, I was raised a Democrat. I then, as I grew older and started to look into things and experience things more, I became a Republican. And now I'm Republican and I'm a conservative, but I am more really toward the middle, but still the middle side of the right or the right side of the middle. But at the same time, one of my oldest son is, he's a hardcore Democrat. He's incredibly liberal. He's way far left. One of my dearest friends, Marianne Williamson, is very far left. And my middle son's ex-girlfriend was hardcore liberal, where she wanted to come in and literally right the second she got in the house, we were going to debate.
like
She was
ready
going
to
to fight
talk.
me, and I'm like, I might be your mother-in-law someday. I don't know you want to do it like
Those
this,
are-
but I'm willing to go wherever with you. But I always I'm always genuinely so open-minded, open-hearted, curious as
Yeah.
to where they're coming from. Not like, oh, I want to understand where you're from because I don't get it. You're so wrong. It's, I see how convicted you are, and you matter as a human being just as I matter as a human being. So I really want to understand you because I also want to see, am I missing something somewhere? Should I
Yeah.
come closer to your side?
Yeah.
Should you come closer to my side? And it's not even sides, it's just beliefs for the betterment of all. Yeah, sometimes
learn a lot that way,
we
too.
can. It should go like
Yeah.
this. We should be able to do that. And that's, as you said, that is what's missing. We're coming in angry. We're coming in hot and hard, and we're trying to. We got to convince that person they're wrong. And no, because we're not always right as we think we are, and we're not always wrong. And we need to leave room on both sides to figure that out. And that's that's when the debate becomes fun. It's entertaining. It's enlightening, and it's educational.
Yeah.
It's really educational.
Especially when you have two parties that are willing to agree and disagree and then talk
Yeah.
about it instead of get really upset. And, people start throwing trigger words around and sort of try and say certain phrases to just write them off as this type of person because
Yeah.
they said one thing when maybe
Yeah.
90% of their stuff is super true, and then they said 10% wrong stuff.
Yeah.
They just focus on the wrong stuff and like, you're crazy. And it's like, well,
know.
I don't know if...
I know.
We don't have to just like write them off completely. Like maybe they
Yeah.
made a mistake. Maybe they really thought this was
Amen.
real and it's not, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't know.
Yeah.
Just like the other
Exactly
person
right.
probably doesn't know some stuff too. But
Yeah.
a lot of people won't come to that, especially I think people that are in a public view, whether it's podcasts or they have YouTube channels or they're, they have some sort of a following that's more than a small thing. Like it's notable. I think people maybe get a little bit of an ego boost, and it pumps them up and they're like, oh, I'm, even if they're wrong or not, I think some people maybe just like the action,
Yeah.
And then those
Yeah.
people are a little scary because then they'll maybe just say some stuff that's off the wall and really believe it, and maybe they really do, and
Yeah.
it's really crazy, and maybe they don't realize it, and it's like,
yeah. But then again, that has to be okay too. So
Yeah,
really,
okay.
you guys, those of you, I think we're at 13 of you. We were at 9 last week.
yeah, we're growing, baby. Let's
We're
go.
growing. That's all that matters. No, but whether you're Republican, whether you're Democrat,
Anything in between.
anything. I don't care where you're from. I don't care. We're here to be real. We're here to talk. We're here to love. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. We're here to be in a world that is peaceful and beautiful and safe and abundant, and that we all share in that abundance and experience and grow and support one another and are there for one another when we're down. And that's what this and to learn. It's to learn and yes, you are watching to be entertained, to just listen, to numb out on me like I numb out on others, or maybe to learn something from me. But I'm also here, and so is Mingo, to learn from you. So if you have
Yeah.
thoughts on anything that we're saying, if you disagree, if you really want us to hear your viewpoint, your feelings on something, regardless of what side of the coin it's on, write to us, producer@KailenRosenberg.com,
Yep.
and let us know. And we would love to talk about it on the next podcast. And let's just get really real with each other. Let's create a movement. I'm not joking. This isn't, it's not like, oh, great, another one of those movement
No.
ladies.
I think that's a good
But
point. Like,
seriously.
get real, because I think a lot of people are afraid to get real. They're just, and maybe in that sense, they're being defensive because they're afraid to get real, because
Yes.
most people will usually attack them.
Yep.
So they're like, oh, I don't want to get real because people use that and then they hurt me, So like,
Yep.
I think we need to maybe grow
Can
up
be
a little
that.
bit and then be just vulnerable in the sense. I feel like you can be vulnerable and still be very strong.
Confident enough to be vulnerable.
Yes, yeah.
That's when you're truly strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you can balance that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a tough one, though.
I know.
Like, I feel like I sometimes have to check myself still, Like, oh, I get into a place and you're like, oh, no, I need to.
Good
know?
job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Me
But
too.
sometimes, you don't realize it until you later. And you're like, oh, well, could have done better.
Hey, but then amen.
Yeah.
That's a growth point.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. What's happened? Oh. Oh, yeah.
How about some of this? Yeah, let's go.
There's a story.
There's a
to that.
transition, huh? Let's go.
I love that. Oh, my Lord. Okay. Okay. Ready for love. I was at my sister's last night. My sister is like Martha Stewart. I'm so not like Martha Stewart. I'm working on it. No, not really. I couldn't do it. It's not me. But I so enjoy it. My husband enjoys it. Her husband enjoys it. She enjoys it. That's all that matters. But we were at her house for dinner, and all of a sudden she played the song Ready for Love by, who is it?
Bad Company.
Bad Company.
Exactly. Just like that.
Just, you know
Yep.
that one.
Yep.
Those were the words. And she's like, Kailen, yeah, because everybody's just, that comes to see you, they're just so ready for love. And I'm like, where's the vodka? Give me the bottle. I don't do gummies. Give me a bag of them.
Yeah.
A warm blanket, a weighted blanket. No, you're not. You're not ready for love, 99.999% of you, which is, again, what keeps me in business.
Yeah.
And I love my work. I love my work. But it can be a freaking challenge a lot of the time, but a really rewarding challenge. So you're single and you say, I'm single, okay, I don't have anybody. The last one sucked, or it didn't work out, or it really hurt me, but I've done a lot of work, and so I'm ready for love.
Are you?
Go find my person, I'm ready for love. Bring my person to me, I'm ready for love. And then you fall in love, and as I said earlier, and then you hit your wall. You're going to hit your wall no matter what. No matter what. That's just how you get to know each other. That's
So
how
when
you
you
get
say hit a wall, what do you mean? Like
You hit
things
your
go
wall.
flat?
You hit your wall, it goes flat. It's you get turned off. The things that were cute and sexy start to really get under your skin and bug you. You start looking for things to turn you off. You make things that are small bigger. You get in your first fight or disagreement or argument. You go toxic. You go a little nutty. You get a little reactive. You get a little numb.
Yeah.
All your truths come out that are attached to the things that are just waiting to heal. That's all it is.
Yeah.
We talked about this before. That's all it is. That's all it is. And so the getting ready for love is just identifying those things. Again, this is my plug. I'll do it all over the place. to get your butt over to, honestly, mylovedesign.com for $40 one time in your whole life, and go build your love house. Go find out who you are when it comes to love, how you show up, how you're blocking and sabotaging, whether you're aware of it or not, and the parts you absolutely aren't, because there are areas that we're not aware. I'm still learning. I've been doing this for 30 years, helping heal marriages and families and introducing soulmates, and I've been married to my husband and with him for over 25 years, madly in love with the guy. But I'm still like, whoa, aha moment, right? So it's really just about really learning to get to the massive, massive truth and reality of who you are, what you still have to work on, what's there to really get ready so that you can really enjoy and experience this awesome, amazing person that's either in your life now, where there's a major disconnect, but you want the disconnect to go, or the person that's coming around the corner. So that's why I said, okay, when I saw Mingo today before we started filming and recording, I'm like, play that song, Ready for Love, and let's use it and let's let it stick in people's minds, because really think about it. How ready for love are you? It doesn't mean because you're single and you're lonely or you, whatever you tell yourself that you're ready. And I think, as I've said before too, some of the people that believe they're the most ready are the least ready. And you don't know it until you're in that relationship again, and you're that person that's done all that spiritual work and all that therapeutic work, and then you've read all those books, and then you go into a relationship and you tell everybody how magical and amazing your new partner is, and then the next thing you're telling him is, oh my God, he's a narcissist, he's an abuser, he's an a-hole, or she's a this, she's a that. Maybe, but then what is that? What is that about? What is that attached to? Again, seeking to be curious, seeking to understand, not just to stay stuck in the terminology and to judge and to run for the hills always. So thank you. They're ready for love. Yeah. Are you ready for love? Yeah.
So that's a tricky one too, because, they say they're ready for love. They get into a relationship. How would they navigate that in the sense of, is it really not going to work? Or is it just, maybe this isn't the right one, or am I blocking these things,
So that's a really, 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 really loaded question, even though you don't know it.
Okay.
We as humans are meant to love. I believe we came from love.
Yeah.
And so you would not believe how you can actually fall in love with almost anyone. Doesn't make sense, seriously.
Yeah.
When you just let your soul be, and you let your heart be, and you let your spirit relax, and but it's not. So people hear me say that and they think, oh, what? Fall in love with each other, like go have sex or be in a relationship together romantically? No, sometimes.
Yeah.
But love one another. We're meant to do that. We're built to do that. We're designed to do that. So we can really. This is why I always talk about people being really careful about not getting stuck in the ego, which it's almost impossible not to do when we're looking for someone, because we have our type, we're attracted to, are the physicality, the personality. But in the years that I've been doing this work, I can't tell you how many people I've had come through my doors where in my ego, in my immaturity, through the years, I would literally say to myself, oh gosh, this one's going to be hard. He or she isn't that cute. He or she is not in good shape. He or she is this. He or she is that. All judgments, ego judgments through society. Yeah. And in time, I'm not falling in love with them. I'm in love with my husband. But, I'm seeing now that, oh my gosh, like now that I know this guy and know this man and know his heart and his charisma and his personality and his passion and all of a sudden he went from a 4 to an 8 really fast.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Even a big guy, like really like obese.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they're sexy.
Yeah.
And same with women. And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So
kind of cool too, because it really sort of in a way proves to you that it's not just the surface doesn't really mean much.
Oh my gosh, it means so little.
Yeah.
It means so little. That's why we need to go for the heart. We need to go for the values. We need to go for the soul connection that's not the soulmate, like, ooh, it's the soulmate. You'll know. It's deep stuff. It's real stuff. You grow because of each other. You challenge each other.
Yeah, that's true.
It's spiritually yummy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what else was I going to say? There was something there with that. It will come back to me, but so you can pretty much, if you want, there are going to be so many of you who are going to hate this. I just lost 2 clients a while ago because of this. And you're probably, when you hear what I'm going to say, you're going to be like, are you
So we're going back down to 10 followers?
Or maybe 6. It could be a bad drop. Mingo, get ready.
All right, well, we'll figure it out.
We'll find out after this next
we'll
podcast. You can tune in and see how many followers we lost. I had a divorced couple come to me, each of them in love with someone else. Happy in their individual relationships. And they had worked out a way to co-parent in a healthy way. But they came in to talk about their son, who they mutually were very concerned about. And they should have been. And as I was sitting there watching both of them and listening to each of them, I'm like, these 2 were never supposed to divorce. They're supposed to be back together. Not what you want to hear from the person that, when you finally went through the whole darn divorce and everything. So I felt this. I had this theory that I was feeling intuitively, but I didn't say anything about it yet. But then I said to each of them, well, I want to meet with you individually. And what was fascinating is that when I met with them individually following this first moment together, each of them admitted that they were still in love with the other, but it was too late.
Oh, interesting.
And they were divorced, and it was painful, and it was ugly, and now they finally met someone else they get along better with. It's easier with them, but they're still in love with their ex. Mm-hmm. And if they could have just made it work. And then they each also said to me, not knowing they were saying the same thing about each other, said, had we met someone like you, Kailen, maybe you could have helped us and we could have had our family together.
Wow.
And I can't tell you how many people I actually hear that from.
That's crazy.
It's especially when a family is involved and a family breaks up over it.
Yeah, when they separate and it wasn't really supposed to. They just kind of had.
They didn't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
Which is why most go to marriage counseling, and then most marriage counseling doesn't work. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Some, but rare.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so when they both came back together to see me about their son. I didn't say what the other had said, but I said, I said, you may never want to see me again after this, and they didn't. But I said, they went from being big fans and loving me to not.
Not a fan.
Well, no, one of them sent new people and more people. I actually had referrals through them.
Well, that's nice.
But they went with me because when they came back, I just looked at both of them and I said, you may never want to see me again. I may be fired after today, but I will always promise to keep it real with you because I want you to be your happiest. I want each of you to have the best life you can ever have. I want your family to be its happiest and its most whole. You 2 never should have gotten divorced, and I think you 2 need to figure out a way to get back together and figure it out.
And what they
And I said, and I would be honored to help you.
What?
Oh, yeah.
So that's so weird because
their egos came back
up.
That's
interesting because they definitely admitted that they shouldn't have, and both of them did.
Yes.
But maybe the other doesn't know the other thinks that, so like, no, I would never be with that person.
Oh,
wow, that's so wild.
Oh, yeah, it was like we were back in divorce court. You could just see both of them, like, body language.
That's so interesting how quickly the ego jumps in and just plays its role. There you go.
Yeah. So I will say, if any of you are out there and you are in a marriage that is really struggling, suffering, even to the point of where you've filed for divorce, before you do finish everything, call me, talk to me. I'll even talk to you for free. I'm not kidding. It means so much to me to see if I can help heal a family. I'm serious. If you don't have to, because so much of this, not so much, everything that got you to the point of where you are that is in complete pain and loneliness and disconnect, and even to the point of where you've talked yourself into believing you can't stand that person, you're turned off, you're not even remotely, you haven't had sex in 85 years. Like, I'm not kidding. I've healed a lot of those.
Yeah.
I know it sounds really scary. You're probably like, shit. But anyway, we can move on.
Well,
but
so that's a good, maybe this is a good transition because we do have a listener question.
Oh,
cool. And I think
this
question kind of goes along with what we're talking about.
Okay.
The question is, how do you determine when it's appropriate to work with your partner through their issues or trauma, or when to lovingly part ways?
Okay, did they really say their issues?
Yes. Partner through their issues / trauma, or when to lovingly part ways. So they said their issues. And maybe it's a group thing.
There we go. Okay, so if you're listening, you who sent this in, we don't have a name. We don't know if you're a male or a female.
No, it's just nothing
that's even remotely.
Name.
Okay.
Yep, no name.
This is what we do. We're unhappy because of them. Work on their issues. Nope. let's talk about your issues. I mean, I'm being real.
Yeah.
I'm being really, really real. This is how you fix their issues, is by working on your issues. So if you are with someone who is turning you off, why? What turned you on in the beginning and what turns you off now? What shifted? What happened inside of you where all of a sudden you're looking, just like we were talking about a moment ago? What happened inside of you that is now experiencing this thing so differently? What is that attached to? What is that connected to? What does that remind you of? Does it remind you of something with mom, dad, a teacher, a bully on the playground when you were a kid, a coworker right now, your ex? What is it attached to? And why are you still there? Why are you still there complaining about it? If it was that bad, you just go, you know what? The second you felt it and it was uncomfortable and ugly and unattractive, you'd be like, you know what? I'm done. I'm out of here. Unless there's more attached to it. And what's attached to it is either a moment and a teacher for you to learn from it and heal and grow yourself, or a moment to learn, grow, heal, and grow together and fall more deeply in love. Always. And so when we are saying, oh, well, when is it a good time to work on their stuff? Again, put the focus on you. Or I'm in a bad, not me, but speaking on behalf of people, I'm in an abusive relationship. I'm in a relationship where this person is really awful, and he or she is really awful to me, and they do this. Okay, why? Not shaming you. I don't want you to beat yourself up on top of being beat up by them, literally.
Yeah.
But why? Okay, well, mom, dad, they fought all the time. They weren't kind to each other. Mom, dad were mean to me. I didn't have a mom. I didn't have a dad. I got a teacher that was abusive verbally, emotionally. It's always attached to something. Whatever we linger toward and whatever we stay in is just, it's your soul, your spirit, your wound starving to heal. And it's that opportunity. The opportunity is right there. It's like, I'm right here. We can do it. Come on, let's go. We can totally do this. We can heal together. And again, most of us don't have the right tools. Most of you don't know how. And so then your ego comes in. It's the big bodyguard, protector.
Yeah.
And what it does is it protects you all the way to staying stuck 99% of the time. So, but to just answer your questions separately, not as deep and heavy, when is a good time to talk about or to work on their issues? Now.
Yeah.
So invite them in to work on their issues while letting them know that you have your own that you bring to the relationship mutually, and that you would really love to work on it or them together and see what shows up there. And you might have somebody say, oh my God, that's so cool. Thank you. Yeah, let's do this. This is cool. I really like you. I've kind of felt a disconnect too. You might have somebody that's really, really stuck and in pain, and the very reason you're feeling turned off and think they have issues and make up, screw you. I don't have any issues. I don't need to. I know. Thank you for admitting you do, but I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, you can still hang in there a little longer, a little teeny bit longer, maybe a day, like to discuss the curiosity. Where does that come from? Is it unsafe to be vulnerable? Again, did mom dismiss you constantly when you had an emotion, a feeling of fear? Did dad dismiss you constantly? What? Always. So the answer is, right now is the best time and the best moment to start working on issues. And what was the second part of their question? But thank you, by the way, for sending in a question. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was, talk about their trauma or to part ways. Like,
Yeah.
those are the twofold. Should they try and work it out, or should they just leave it and just be done with it?
A relationship is there as a teacher. So you always try to work on it. You always try, or you're missing the teacher. Trying, though, doesn't mean abusing yourself, having poor boundaries, not loving on yourself, or abandoning yourself. It just means checking it out enough to see what is the truth and the reality of, can this be healed? Can this be fixed? What can I learn from this? What am I meant to learn from this? What am I meant to take from this to grow even stronger within myself, separate from this person, or even closer to this person? And the time to leave is when you realize that they're not in a space of true ability, awareness, or capability, or desire to meet you there. And that doesn't mean that they couldn't meet you there in a month.
Yeah.
Or next week, or tomorrow night, or in a year. But that's when you have to, this is when we grow up and we just really love ourselves and we say, okay, I really do like so much about this person. There's so many beautiful qualities, and it's really, really hard, and it's why I've brushed so much under the rug that was bad, because all these things are so amazing, but this stuff is starting to hurt too much, and I don't want this the rest of my life. Or for kids, if kids come into the picture, or they are in the picture. And so it's sometimes at that point you just have to say, hey, this is when I need to take a break. Okay, if you're not willing to meet me there and you don't want to work on this, you don't want to look and see if we both have things we can work on together, okay, cool. But don't make it angry and mad. Don't sit and tell them what an a-hole they are. Don't tell them, you're such a narcissist. You're such a, it's it does nothing.
I feel like all it does is give them the opportunity to unsheath their ego. And you're like, all right, let's battle.
Yeah. And it wounds more.
Yeah.
It really does. It wounds your own spirit and it wounds them even more. Even though you could think, well, they don't even care. They're so numb. They're such a narcissist. They don't know. No. Trust me, it does.
Yeah.
So just come from love and be like, hey, I've tried so hard. And not like I've tried so hard. I've really tried.
Be genuine.
I really love you. And I want this to work. But we're not meeting at the same space right now. And maybe we will someday. Maybe we won't. I guess we'll see. But thank you for being honest with me. And I wish you love. And let's part. And then part.
Yeah, that's maybe the hard part too, because I think some people will say that, but they won't.
And then that's your stuff.
It's too scary. Yeah, there you go.
Then that's your stuff.
Yeah.
And that's okay too, but you got to work on that. And that's when you call me, you reach out to Kailen.com or thelovearchitects.com or mylovedesign.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is what I do. I help people heal and be happy. Yeah.
I think that was kind of an interesting way to put it too, because if you think about the two that got divorced and then should have stayed together, in that sense too, like, neither of them were willing to be open enough to really or to be, like we said, vulnerable, like to have courage in that and just be willing to. It's so interesting too, because I feel like it seems scary to be vulnerable in the moment, but once you do it and open up, then you're like, wow, I feel so much better.
Oh gosh, yes.
I'm like, wow, I can't believe I feel so good right now.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and suddenly you don't really feel vulnerable. You feel power.
Amen. Yeah.
It's such a flip. It's so bizarre.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's really, really true. And I'll leave this little kind of, is it a cliffhanger? I don't know. Next podcast, we're going to, we'll make a little note. We're going to talk about some examples of that still showing up and making things go real sideways if you don't work the stuff out.
Yeah.
With a former client of mine.
Oh, okay.
Who decided love in another area was,
better.
We'll talk about it next podcast.
Well, I think that's a wrap.
Is
everybody.
it?
I think so. What
kind of wrap is it? Is it like a
good wrap?
Taco wrap? Or
taco wraps are pretty good.
Turkey and cheese wrap?
Yeah, I'm good with that too. Or like a cool guy wrap, A lot of rhymes.
Don't ask me to Skype.
Yeah. Well, thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
It's been lovely having you.
Oh, yeah, we love you. We do. We love you.
Send us your stuff. And, if you want to send questions and you want to be confidential, and we just tell us that. If you send us an email, it's your name's attached. Tell us you don't want us to say your name. It's totally fine. We'll do whatever you want. Or if you want to share, cool.
Yeah, your first name. I mean, unless it's something really unique.
Yeah.
Dave or Bob.
Yep.
Or Sue.
Oh,
no, the music.
it's back. We're back.
If there's... Welcome to the Love Happy Hour podcast show. All right. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Love you guys.